And now, Freelance Heroism presents Return to Ravenloft.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before everyone gets started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Christopher Hildebrand, Breakmeister, Rebecca, and a quick thank you to one of our newest patrons, a very cool bat. Welcome.
Very like Dracula?
Could be.
Could be.
They're in bat form, so.
Could be the bat that got away from the Ozzy Osbourne concert. The one that got away. Anyway, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We really appreciate it, and we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
Rachel.
Dees.
Cake or ice cream? You pick.
I thought you were going to say cake or pie.
Cake or ice cream?
I'll
take the opposing side. Whatever you choose, I will take the opposing side, and we will have a argument about which is better. So choose wisely.
Ice cream.
Wow. I was about to give you some context, but okay. Okay.
All right.
Make your argument.
Ice cream is better than cake because you can have different bases for your ice cream.
Bases?
Yeah. Like you can have a dairy ice cream. You can have a dairy-free ice cream for those of us that are lactose intolerant or vegan.
That's not an ice cream then, right?
It's still an ice cream.
Yeah, okay. Right. So like for me, a pizza is like a cake because it's flat and round. No, by all means. I'll let you have this one, but just know that there's some pushback on this. Oh, God.
You get a great variety of flavors with ice cream. You can mix and
Unlike
match.
cake, because cakes only have one flavor.
You can mix and match different toppings. I would say also ice cream can come in a lot of cool different forms. Like you can just have a scoop of ice cream. You could have like Choco Taco, which are
like a cake
delicious. Yeah, I think you can have like a sweet ice cream. You could have like a sweet and salty. There's just, I think, a lot more that you can do with ice cream than you can do with cake.
Rachel.
Yes.
How old are you?
37.
How many cakes have you had? You've had a cake every birthday, huh?
Not every birthday, no.
Generally in America, a person has a birthday cake, not a birthday ice cream. You want to know why?
You can have an ice cream cake.
Cake is fundamentally tied to our passage through time. It is important to us as a people. Cake is important. It signals the great moments of our life, right? Weddings. Cake! Big fucking cake! Where's the wedding ice cream?
I didn't think you were
That's a partnership.
I don't think you were a wedding guy, though.
Signified by the one food that can give you that type of ceremony, that ceremonious feel, that vibe you need.
What about people who do ice cream bars at their wedding?
That's an after the fact. It's a bar. It's like a trough filled with a fucking milk balls. Fuck that. Cake. You know what I mean? Cake elevates people, which is why they put the bride and the groom on top of the cake.
God,
it's elevating them. It's elevating them. Look, both symbolically and tangibly in that instance.
I think pretty much all cake is like all right. You have to be phenomenal if you want to be like, if you want someone to say this is an incredible cake, but all cake is pretty much this is pretty good. This cake.
Is there a Netflix show called Is That Ice Cream? No, there isn't. Let me tell you.
Do you really want to reference Netflix with their recent track record of shows? Is that really a positive?
The show is irrelevant. Right?
I'm saying Netflix.
It's even actually a strength if you think about it. Netflix has started to pander to the most common denominator amongst all people. Cake. Everybody likes cake.
You're saying cake is basic.
I'm saying cake is integral, right? It's it's part of the fabric of our lives.
Look, if I'm at the grocery store and I'm like, I want some kind of treat to take home and have later, I'm going to go to the ice cream aisle more so than I'm going to be like, I want to have a cake to nibble on when I get home.
Right, because you're thinking of the arbitrary, the nonsensical, the daily grind. I'm talking about signifying touchstones of American life, big moments. Oh, you're retiring. Thanks for your service, Larry. Here's a cake. Right?
That's
oh my
just
God,
saying to me.
It's a wedding. Here's a cake. Sorry, your fucking uncle died. Here's a fucking cake. Here's a cake, a funeral cake.
So you're saying that cakes are harbingers of bad points of life.
You're saying that a wedding is a bad point in life. I just, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, my girlfriend Rachel has now told me that marriage is bad, using a very cogent series of arguments that I think we should all just lean into and just really absorb. Okay. That being said, I think cake is an important signifier of important events, and we can just, it's not just us, every generation, right? Cake.
All you're talking about though are the cultural points of cake.
What if it's really hot? Cake
then I want ice
survive.
cream.
Cake can survive out there in those conditions.
I'm not going to store my ice cream outside. Ice cream is frozen, so it's there to cool you off.
Right. Cake can be eaten anywhere, in any temperature. It's always there for you.
So you're going to carry it around with you, get frosting and crumbs everywhere?
I'm just saying, you can chip cake up into those little cake kind of wedges. You ever had the flake cake?
Wait, no. I
don't know. I don't think that's what it's called. It rhymes, so it sounds good, but I don't know if that's what it's called. But when it's like chipped up, you've never had that?
No.
Very good. You should have that.
Mm.
You should have that. Have you ever had a cake just for no reason? For like just out and about?
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. The reason that it isn't as good as like birthday cakes and wedding cakes and things like, hey, fucking indictment cakes, I guess. Is that like the cakes they're a conduit. They amplify the moment. Ice cream doesn't do that.
Then
ice cream is a back alley hand job. You know what I mean?
Then
It'll get the job done, but it's not something to brag about.
Okay, but then why do people turn some cakes into ice cream? You look at like ice cream cakes.
They're just trying to get work.
No one's doing a
like,
cake
man,
ice cream.
Ice cream's like, cake, why do you get all the best events? And you're like, don't worry, buddy, I got you. Why don't you hop on here, and we'll get you into some of these big events. It's like a guy trying to sneak his buddy into the club, right? Yeah, you're not as important. But he's your buddy. He's gonna help you.
Mm.
You know, cake is important. Think about it, right? You put candles in cake, right? They hold up the fucking the human achievement of fire.
That's not their point.
Ice cream is just like flatten a bowl until it becomes soup.
Ice cream is a human achievement.
Is it?
Yeah.
A human achievement that sits in the back of your freezer until all of a sudden it gets icy on the top?
It's utilizing refrigeration, which is a great human invention.
When you get ice cream,
preserve food.
You jam it in an ice box and close the door so it has to stay frozen and away in the dark and the cold. But when you get a cake, you put it out on the counter on a lifted fucking thing with a
gets
glass
stale.
stem.
And then all the people from your work come in and they like
cake
cut
never
off
gets
pieces,
stale.
and you see like little thumbprints in it from people touching it.
Cake never gets stale. You want to know why? Because it's done on the first day. You don't need 2 weeks of shoving that shit in the back of your... It never gives you a headache. Cake never gives you a headache. Cake loves you, baby. Cake loves you, baby. It would never cause you any harm. It's here to celebrate your life, and that's it.
Mm-mm.
It's just here to make you feel better. Ice cream is like it's like Winterfell. It's like in the icy, cold, dark.
Ice cream lasts longer.
Comes crawling out and it makes her brain hurt.
You can go to the grocery store, get a box of those drumsticks. Those are delicious.
Right.
You stick them in your freezer and you just have them when you want. You don't have to be like, oh, I better finish all of these before they get stale.
You better eat them relatively quick. Otherwise, the cone will absorb the ice cream and it'll turn all soft. Then when you go to chew it, it's like cardboard. It
lasts longer than ice cream. Or, I'm sorry, it lasts longer than cake.
Yeah, I think Freudian slip here.
No.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Don't worry. When you finally come around to my side of the argument, I'll have a cake for you to celebrate the issue. Finally seeing it the correct way.
I think you're just saying that cake is basic, which means that ice cream is elevated.
Elevated?
Yeah, it's elevated. It's more interesting. If someone's like, oh, there's a cake in the break room, you're like, yeah, there's always some stale grocery store sheet cake in the break room.
We're going to do a visualization trick. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a child. Right? Okay. Imagine a child on a summer day.
Mm-hmm.
They're holding an ice cream cone.
Yep.
And it falls over and hits the floor.
Uh-huh.
And they're just so sad. It's literally a metaphor for sadness. The visual of sadness. The kid spilling his ice cream cone. A turned over ice cream cone on the sidewalk, melting on the hot pavement. Now imagine a group of children gather around a cake, singing songs for their friend. In tribute of another year around.
Imagine a child grabbing a handful of frosty and cake and just rubbing it in your couch.
I mean, I feel like you're upset about having a kid, which I want to make another argument about. Just keep that on file for you. I think cake clearly is the winner here.
I disagree.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't.
You just talked about, hey,
like you
cake's present at all of these things. Like, that doesn't mean that it's actually good. It just means that it's basic. It's the most common denominator.
But it's not
the least
not
offensive.
In your fridge. Would you say that there is more likely to be ice cream in your fridge right now, or a cake on your counter right now?
Ice cream.
Right. So which one's more basic? Cake comes around for the big deals. It's a big deal. It's here for the big ones. Weddings, birthdays,
I don't
fucking retirements. Celebrations. Not ice cream. Some fucking any old day. Oh, my life is sad. I'm gonna eat some ice cream.
I think there is.
I'm just saying, if McDonald's had a cake machine, it would always be working. There you go.
All right. Why don't we get to this week's episode?
That's my case. In the comments, let me know who wins. I don't want to know what you think. I want to know who wins this argument.
All right.
Assigned cake, and I still win.
This is Return to Ravenloft, episode 20. Explode Ride.
Explode Ride. That's a podcast joke. Awesome.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Explode Ride. Explode Ride.
In the immortal words of Dees Cassius, should we kickstart this big fucking?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone remember where we were? I do. Explosion.
Yeah.
There was a massive explosion, and it took up the whole area off in the distance. This is the new narrator for Freelance.
All right, Fred.
Off over the landscape, you see the smoky coming. It's a smoky.
So we were at the blacksmith, and we were
looking at a gate, weren't we?
Well, we had gone by the gate, and then I thought we had swung back around to where the blacksmith was. And just as we kind of got towards the blacksmith and was going to do something, that's when explosion happened.
Yeah. Explosion.
It was Coming from the house that had like all the order people in it.
Mhm. And there was some an immediate thought as to whether or not it was our kobold friend who might have done that.
That's
Hawk.
right.
Because Hawk knows fire magic,
That's right.
much to the chagrin of the townsfolk, I believe. Splosion by Michael Bay.
Splosion.
How do you spell that?
Splosion?
Yeah.
SPROJHUNN.
Okay.
N?
Not exactly where I thought you'd take that, but okay.
Splosion.
I think we're sufficiently warmed up now. Yes.
Okay, good.
I'm warmed up
All right.
because I've had my dick in the toaster since we started. And the onion rings are helping. She can't hear anything we're saying.
No, she can't hear anything you're saying.
Tell her I put a balloon animal in my ass and slowly inflated it.
I was gonna say
it was a giraffe. It was a giraffe, so it was normal. That was normal.
But
You just talked about giraffes in the episode I edited today.
Really?
Geese would like you to know that we're all warmed up because he's had his dick in the toaster oven and he's all ready to go now.
And the onion rings.
Yeah.
Talk about the onion
And,
rings.
oh yes, and onion rings. Onion rings factor in there somewhere. I'll let you figure out how.
They're on my wiener. Clarify.
I don't need to clarify.
And
She's smart woman.
tell her about the dipping sauce. Sorry. This is gross.
He now goes by the name Dick. Yes.
Dipping sauce. Dizzy
No, he
Dipper.
now goes by the name Dick Greaseburns. Oh, they got her.
Richard Greaseburn.
Richard Greaseburns. Okay.
Okay, so talking about burns, you guys smell smoke coming from the town.
Oh no.
The explosion had gone off.
Floating
where
dog.
exactly are you guys coming down?
Well, we were at the blacksmith and the gate on the sort of northeastern side of town, I do believe.
Yes, you were.
So I assume we would be making our way west across town, right?
So yeah, you can either go west or pretty much south then west, or west then south. The tavern's in the middle between you guys and where you see the smoke coming.
The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So I mean,
Unless
unless
planet and then it's an arced line for being
true, but I mean, unless there's a reason for us to make a detour, I wouldn't imagine why we would.
No, what I'm saying is the tavern's kind of the big building in the way. So to go around the tavern, you guys have to go west then south, or you guys have to go south then west.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay, so is there a benefit to going one direction over the other? Is one of them shorter, or does one of them avoid something? Because I'm not. Otherwise, I don't really know why I would choose one path over the other. I would probably just go for the shortest one to get to where it needs
They're
to.
about
unless
the same.
there are guards in the way or someone that's impeding it by responding to the.
I mean, we're not going to know until we go, though, right?
Yeah.
Just from where we're at, can we see any difference between the paths?
Darcalus is south of you guys more.
Okay, so the other way.
So you guys are going west then?
Yeah.
Sounds
Okay.
good to me.
Sounds good. All right. As you guys continue west through the town, you guys pass the two buildings in front of you, and you get to a point where you're about south. You can look south now and actually see the smoke coming down the alleys, the alley where the explosion happened.
D-Walk, before we start, I'm gonna roll 2 d20s for you.
All right.
Just because it might come up if we're reacting to something. 12 and a 1.
Oh,
And
boy.
a 1, D-Walk. Sucks to be you, nerd. All right.
Man, I'm glad I put those extra points into my firefighting skills.
Yep. So as you guys look down, you actually see dead priests or dead members of the order ahead of you guys on the ground, butchered,
Oh, no.
heading up to where the fire or where the explosion happened. You guys right now are
Sorry, we can tell that they've been butchered, not They're dead from the explosion.
Oh, these guys are a good 50, 60 feet in front of the explosion.
Well, it could have been a really big explosion, right?
No, the explosion wouldn't have gone this far.
Oh, okay.
I want to do a quick investigation on the bodies as we pass them.
All right. So you guys got about. Hold on, let me get the buildings. 1, 2, 3, 4. You guys got at easy 80 to 100 feet between you guys and where the explosion went off. So, and about 20 feet in front of you guys heading south is where you can find the first bodies of the order.
What direction are they facing? Towards the explosion or away?
Kind of pinned up against, well, not pinned up against walls, but they're kind of up against a wall. You see the blood splatter behind them on the wall.
Right.
A couple of them on the ground face down.
Can we tell what direction they were running? If they're face down, they probably blew away from the explosion.
These actually, there are no like burn marks from the explosion on these guys.
Right.
Well, what do we see? Do we see puncture wounds? Do we see like slashes?
Puncture wounds and slashes.
Yeah.
Okay, again, what direction were the bodies facing when they fell? What direction were they moving towards or away from where the explosion happened?
You find 3 of them to start with.
Okay.
One of them looks like they were facing the explosion and they died head towards the explosion, feet facing, feet towards north, head towards south. Another one of the bodies is like up against the wall, bent, kind of like sitting, like it hit the wall and slid down.
Right.
Dead. So you see the streak of the thing and they're just facing a wall.
Okay.
The wall actually faces west, so they're kind of that way. And then the third body's just pretty much east to west sprawled out.
Okay, so no discernible interaction from the fire by.
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Type of weapon. I'm assuming the one that hit up against the wall was either stabbed up against or shot with something.
The one up against the wall was done with a larger blade.
Okay.
The one that's head facing south, you can see a few smaller punctured wounds through the back.
Okay. So
and the one horizontal was a larger blade.
Okay, so the larger blade that hit the guy against the wall, in the wall, is there a cut into the wall? He's like stabbed up against it.
You can see where a slash was into the wood on the wall.
Okay. All right. Estimated. I'll roll the investigation for it.
Okay.
29. I want to know the types of weapons based on the entry wounds and the blood splatter. The one in the back, I'm pretty sure was like short blades, like a dagger or a knife or something.
Mm-hmm. The one up against the wall, easiest guess would be a bastard's sword, a long sword of that style. A slashing, like not a rapier, a scimitar or a long sword.
Right.
So.
Okay.
The one on the ground was definitely a heftier blade of one-handed or two-handed. The way the strike came down.
Is it a thick blade or is it a short blade?
Not like an axe. Not like an axe. This one was more of a sword style.
Okay, but they're all slashing weapons or piercing weapons. Blades.
Okay. Yeah, the two were done slashing. The last one was done with with piercing.
Okay. Sorry, I'm an investigator. That's what I do.
No, you're fine. I'm not tripping.
So, in terms of where the explosion occurred, what do we see? Do we see like just level ground, a crater? Is there anything left of the structure that was there?
Yes, there is parts of the structure left. This is about 60 feet down from you guys at this point. If you guys are at where the bodies are falling.
Is there an obvious pattern as to where the explosion, like if it was a fireball, can we assume that it came from the west side, the south side, the north side?
You would have to get closer to it to examine it. It's about 60 feet off to look at the blast area. It was in between 3 buildings.
So it didn't actually strike a building.
It struck. There was only 10 feet between the buildings.
Okay.
Right.
It struck the building that the order was staying in and blew the part of the front of it. It also damaged part of it and shot debris into the other 2 buildings.
Okay.
And those buildings that took damage are in what direction relative to?
They are to the east of it. The Orders building was west up closest to the fence, and then the other two buildings were to the west of it. Do you guys
Okay.
saw the map? I sent you the map right a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw it.
Okay. If you go to the bottom of if you have the gate at the bottom of the map, if you go over to the very southwest, you go up one building, you'll see a tent. Then the building right above that is where the fireball went off.
Okay.
I'd take a picture of mine, but I've drawn all over it already, so I can't send you guys a picture of the one I printed out. I could probably send you the guys the one I got on the computer though again, but
Can we
this
determine?
map was huge as shit, so it had to go through Google Drive.
I'm gonna sprint up to that building as close as I can get without being damaged by the fire.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's roll initiatives from here.
Okay.
Oh boy, we're gonna fight a burning building.
Well, just depending how things go. There's other things that play right now.
All right. Let's see.
12. I have a +10 to my initiative, and I got a 12.
Okay.
17.
Ooh.
4.
Ooh.
I rolled a 1.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, praise the dice god. I mean, I didn't have time to sacrifice anything to the dice gods this week to jinx you guys, so.
I don't think that's how it works anyway.
I was gonna say I
No.
don't think it's really necessary.
Besides,
Especially
I
if you
offer
guys
onion
voted.
rings to the
Yeah.
Dice Lords.
Especially if you guys voted for my Instagram thing, then yeah, I definitely didn't pray against your dice.
I did.
I'm willing to sacrifice
know.
a goat.
Thank you.
I know a goat that I'm down to kill for the Dice Gods if they'd like. I'll
Not
just kill them for
Clarabelle.
funsies.
I know you will. That's why I'm not letting Clarabelle near you right now. I'm saving her for a special time.
Let's hope it's a feast or something.
Giggity.
At the worst opportune moment. Bah.
Bad.
All right, Rain, what are you doing?
I would have followed Kavira because I would have been curious, A, to figure out what had caused the explosion, and B, given my abilities, whether or not there was anything that needed to be put out that was putting people in danger.
Okay. So, are you wanting to deter because he pretty much goes right behind you as of right now?
Yeah, I'll delay.
Okay. Then Kavira's up and you run straight down to the fire without getting burned.
Okay.
Is that what you were
Yeah.
still
I
going?
want to.
Okay.
I want to get as close as I can without having to interact with any of the
Okay.
direct damage radius.
You get up close enough. You see about a 20-foot explosion burn mark in the ground and partially in the building.
Consistent
so you see
with fireball or meteor.
Consistent with the fireball.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean the whole front of the building smashed in. The wood, the splintered. Part of it's on fire. You see a couple dead bodies actually inside.
Right.
You do see that it has lit on fire the building directly to the west of it. East of it. Is the northern of the two buildings that it splashed on.
Right.
You do see two dead order members, or what's left of the order members, the body parts left from the explosion of the fireballs it hit.
Mm-hmm.
And you also see a couple of the dead townsfolk.
Right.
With the townsfolk being packed in as they are, you can't fire off something like that in this town
Without them noticing, yeah.
or being collateral damage.
So, what else do you do? You're up there.
Yeah, I want to take a look around at the people who are reacting to it. I want to get a brief kind of give everyone like 2 or 3 seconds to observe to make sure their behavior is acting somewhat normal to what I would expect from them in this moment, to see if anyone's out of character, right?
No worries. Most of the people that you see townfolk wise, they're horrified. They are grief stricken. They're in shock. Their faces are like just the most emotion you've actually seen out of them outside of fear, right?
Right.
Well, additionally to fear that you've seen since the internal orders in town. Now, you actually don't see any internal order members live at the moment in this area. The ones around are all barbecued or in chunks over there, and up there. So,
the people are they trying to put out the building?
no, they're still kind of in shock and panicking. No one's reacted to any kind of put out the building or save anyone yet or anything like that. They're just in shock.
Right. Okay. I guess that's sort of my turn. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna spend the rest of my turn kind of, I don't know, on the periphery of everyone moving around and stuff, and try to just listen to overhear what I can. I'll just make active perception checks as often as I can.
Okay. Nate, do you want to take yours or do you want to hold off still?
No, I'll take my turn now.
All right.
Perception check. I am effectively looking for if I can determine what was the cause of the blast, or if I see anything related to the blast that might tip me off as to whether or not this was. My Arcana skills suck, so I don't know if I'm necessarily going to be able to detect if this is magic or not. But whatever my perception check will get me, that will be a 20 total.
Alrighty. What does Nate see with his little eye? All right.
He said you have a little eye. Just one though. The other one's a big eye. You have unbalanced vision, is what it's saying. That's why one of Nate's lenses in his glasses is 2 inches thick.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, from what you can tell, that you're not seeing any shrapnel of what would have been left by like a bomb or so.
Okay.
You've been around enough, especially with your background on the pirate ship, your background on ship. You know what a cannon explosion looks like. You know what happens when this isn't the other way.
It's not projectile based.
No, God no. You also didn't hear anything like a cannon going off.
Do I get the sort of after smell of like gunpowder blast? Okay, so
no, you don't get the smell of gunpowder. You don't get everything that excites you in the morning, that wakes you up and gets your blood pumping. You don't smell anywhere.
Damn.
So,
gunpowder's pirate Viagra.
Can get you a Rogus dozen.
All right. Well, okay. So definitely know that this is magical in nature. So that doesn't necessarily rule out Hawk. I guess I'm going to be doing the same thing. I mean, while I can definitely create water, I don't think I'm going to be able to create enough to like completely put out a fire. So I think it's kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it a waste, but I will say that if I do notice that like the fire is starting to spread to adjacent buildings because no one else is taking care of it, I may withhold the use of my create water to, keep it from spreading. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just pretty much doing what Kavir is doing at this point is just observing the crowd and observing the periphery to see if I notice anything else.
If you give me and Rachel 15 minutes, we can argue how much water you can make.
I know exactly how much water I can create. I can
get you 20% more water.
I don't think you can because the rules are very clear on the specific amount of water that you get.
I can create up to
all the time.
I can
create to ice. It expands.
No, it doesn't make sense.
I can create up to 10 gallons of water.
10 gallons, right? But
or at second level, I can create 10 additional gallons of water. So I can make up to 20 gallons.
Right.
Or I can expand.
Is that water? Is it like really dense? Is it heavy water?
No, I'm not packing like deuterium based water. No, this is
they never clarify. Maybe that's what they're making and we can thin it out a little.
I don't think so.
I don't think
no. To saturate the whatever. We can aerate it.
No.
Get more better coverage.
Look,
wouldn't.
The only way I'm ever going to argue whether or not I can create or destroy or make more or less water than the rules say is if I'm actively trying to drown someone with it.
Okay.
At which case, I will be willing to argue my point.
Okay, fine. Just take your standard amount of water. Don't give it any thought.
That's
Don't
fine.
argue it.
No, that's
Sure.
fine. It's
I
1
pulled a-
gram per mil. It is just. It's you know what it is. It's alkaline water, and
Yeah,
then
you put a little lemon in it.
put a little lemon in it.
Put a little lemon wedge in there so you can be a real fucking moron on the internet.
Yeah.
Right.
I got a DM once to let me create water inside somebody's body. Dumped
Yep.
a few gallons in
Give
there.
him
That was a shit move.
Hydrosis. Yeah.
Oh,
you
no.
Poison them.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm going to bring it up just because we mentioned this. But have you seen the Uber Eats commercial with Gwyneth Paltrow?
I've seen her
No.
in it, but I haven't actually paid attention.
Paid
Sorry.
attention to it. Okay, so the whole gimmick is people are ordering non-food items and getting them delivered
you
through
eat
Uber
what you-
Eats. Can
yeah,
you
yeah.
eat what you right? So she holds up this candle, right? And it says on the side of the candle, "This candle smells like my VA," and then her thumb is strategically placed over the
Right.
rent of the world.
But she
And
actually
she-
sells those.
I know. And she takes a bite out of it, and then she goes, I just kind of sat and looked at the TV for a minute, and I went,
Subtle.
that's not the response I was looking for, but I really don't know what response I should have been looking for.
That's sort of a good flex, though. if
It
you're
kind of
gonna-
sort of was. I mean, I was like,
Yeah,
I was
she's like,
almost
hey.
partially impressed with her stupidity.
For all those guys out there at the bar. What's up?
Anyway. All right. So not projectile based weapon, magic, stuff on fire. Gotcha.
Tell me more about this candle.
No.
Kidding.
You can light it and you can throw it at things and you can inflict
signal your
damage.
friends.
You can inflict damage on others.
Yes, it's your turn.
My turn. Okay. I'm gonna head towards the building. Also, because I am a wood elf, I move at 35 for my speed, so pretty fast. Can I hear anyone in the building? Like, is there any like yelling or anything going on?
Oh, there's definitely screaming going on. Well, there's screaming from the commoners around.
Mhm.
You're not actually hearing any cries from inside the building.
Okay.
You're pretty safe to say there's some dead people in there.
That's fine. That happens all the time here. Are there any people that I can see that are like in I don't know. Well, I'm sure there's like injured people.
Notice Nate and I did not even bother. We're just like, yeah, whatever. We're gonna
Is there any like can I see anyone that's in like really dire like has a really dire injury or anything like that?
Yes, there is a woman, a townsfolk that is laying there. Half her legs burned off, and she's she's going into shock and probably gonna die with the leg missing.
Okay.
She's not screaming anymore. She's just like unresponsive in shock.
If
Oh my
I
god. Hold on, I'll be her. I'll play as her. Oh my god, Nate, fuck you.
All right, I'm going to do I think that spare the dying would be beneficial in this instance?
Unless you can fix the leg or stop the leg from bleeding.
Well, no, but
You can level her to 1 hit point, then watch it go down
well,
as it
because spare the
slowly
dying
bleeds out her leg.
would make her become stable. So
Stick her leg in the fire and cauterize the wound.
This is where you need a raven.
all right. Do we see Darcalus Rex? Is he anywhere near here?
It's good 60, 70 feet behind you, walking towards you.
He's
Not
walking.
behind you north. He is coming from the east. walking. Yeah, he's not running towards this. He is doing his like command walk.
So he was coming from
Couple-
the same direction where we were.
He's coming from like the southeastern
Okay.
area.
All
You
right.
guys were up in the northeast and came
Northeast,
around,
okay.
and yeah, you guys ran where he saw heard and saw the explosion, and he's walking towards the like.
Got it.
He's being a little more cautious in his walk towards it, where you guys ran in to look at things and get an idea of the area. He's more kind of getting a scope of the outside a little slower than you guys.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess then I'll just kind of join the other two.
This lady is laying in front of us. I didn't even know she existed until you said it. Otherwise, I probably would have done something. But she's just laying there, like bleeding out, and I'm just chilling next to the wall next to her, like shh, 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 shh.
You just stepped right over her. You did the big,
You're
real
like
big stretch
kneeling,
with
you're
the leg.
kneeling on her sternum, like
Stopping the blood flow.
Okay, yeah, I'll go over there and I will cast Spare the Dying on her just to stabilize her, and that should stop her from bleeding out.
Sounds good. She will live another hour.
You're welcome.
We hope. But for now, she lives.
Until the next explosion.
Oh.
The Sharktacons.
Plot twist. She's the bomb.
Oh snap!
Oh,
What if her
no.
foot was the bomb?
Oh no.
Oh, damn.
Foot bomb.
I haven't done fucked up shit like that until I was tattooing explosive runes on monks that couldn't speak.
Oh no.
Sent those against the party. Talk about a grappling nightmare. Not as bad as the time I put a fucking ring of 9 lives pierced through a belly button on a tattooed mage and pissed off the party because every time they killed her, she stood up and fireballed them from behind.
After I cast Spare the Dying on that woman, I'm going to draw my sword
Ooh.
and my shield.
Oh. All right.
As long as
Alrighty.
someone else is drawing it for a while.
And also, David, earlier today I did cast Death Ward on myself.
I love how this works for Rachel. How Rachel is just allowed to time travel
I
back
did.
before.
I
Okay.
marked off the spell slot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm sure
I
at
think
some
she did
point
it before you guys entered town, if I remember
in
right.
the yeah, at some point in the previous game that we recorded, there's a point where I said, and here
But you
I'll
also went
cut
back
and
in time.
here I will
Is-
cut and paste the audio.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it awfully convenient? She's the only one that has the ability to go back and listen to that to verify whether or not she's telling the truth.
I'd
I
ask if
said
it's in her notes,
exactly.
but
I said exactly like this in exactly this tone. By the way, David, I'm going to cast Death Ward on myself.
Yeah.
It sounded just
not like we
that.
haven't heard that.
It sounded
for 30
exactly-
seconds, 100
exactly
times.
like that. It sounded exactly like
We-
that,
It
and
did.
will sound very specific,
Okay.
just like
we
that.
hear, by the way, David, I cast Death Ward as many times as you, like elves don't sleep, and
Yeah.
I have 35 speed movement.
She's got that file with a bunch of I cast Death Ward saved, so you can just plug and play.
Oh,
D-Walk, I want you to know I cast Giganticus Penis this morning on my character, and so, you know,
Who cast it on me?
it's not my job.
Onion rings won't fit.
I don't know.
already.
I play nice, but I'm average.
All right, let's
Darcalus-
get back to the game.
Darcalus makes his way up towards you guys with two of the of his acolytes, I guess, as you would call them, behind him, two of his order. He's like, looks around. I highly doubt this was you three. And he just kind of peers, looking back and forth, his voice having that 2-3 voices speak as he speaks.
Seems like
His
you're,
eye,
seems like you have some sort of I don't know, revolution going on here a little bit. Maybe everyone's not 100% on board with you.
I'm not exactly sure how to take that statement that he says he highly doubts it was us. I mean, on one hand, I'm glad he doesn't suspect us. On the other, I'm a little bit offended. Like he didn't think we'd be capable of this.
Why would you do fire? Why wouldn't you just do water?
He begins to like move his hand around, and you see that red glowy vein things move up into his hand, and he just splashes it out like drips of water on some of the bodies, and they kind of absorb into them.
What is that?
He looks over at you. Would you like to partake? He begins moving his hand again.
No. Just asked what it was.
Would you like to partake of my arm veins? No, you fucking. What is it, like fucking Black Crow song? Get out
Would you would you like some of my hand fluid?
You know I would, Big Daddy. It's like, no, get out of here.
Finger fluid. New from the makers of something. I can't finish the joke.
But
It's for the faithful. Those who have never doubted my return.
So they absorb this liquid, and then what happens?
Nothing as of now.
So you're saying that it's all for the love of the game and not for any benefit.
So he begins to look at his eyes glowing. Just as he peers around, he's like, this is interesting. I think we have somebody invisible here. I'm picking up things moving through the weave. He taps his 2 orders and sends them off north, back towards which way you guys came.
So, you have a lot of trouble like this around here?
It's the first here.
So,
Child, let the adults speak.
we had heard a story about you.
Is this really the time?
Seems like it.
As he continues to pierce around. All right, child, what is your distraction? The dead are dead. We can't save them.
Well, we don't know if it's true or not. I look at Kess for like a long time.
I look back at Kevin.
The story from.
I thought you were going to
past.
tell that.
From the last game that we played.
I thought you sound like you were about to tell it.
No, it has to come from you.
Why?
Because you're more authoritative than a child.
Because he doesn't remember all the details.
I remember the details. Okay, hold on. There was a city that he was the old version of him had attacked, and that he showed no mercy, and so we were going to lie to him and tell him that it was very it made him seem like a more powerful leader, a more what is it called, someone worthy of being followed, that he would show mercy to that city, and only the real person would know whether that was true or false. So if he agrees with us, then we know he's
as they say,
he's a
full of
fake.
shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. As Ambassador Pretak would say, it's a fake. And then everyone would laugh at whoever said that for like, I don't know, 12 years or whatever.
All right.
Leave that in. I want my 2 people out there to be like, hey, in the pale moonlight, I get it.
Yeah, we heard a story about you, some city a long time ago. But you, I guess they angered you or something, but you showed them mercy.
There ain't no leader like a benevolent leader.
He pauses and looks at you three. What city was this?
Delanuk.
Delanuk. Delanuk, I don't believe exists anymore.
It was a long time ago.
Must have been during my first train. I've killed so many, you lose count. You say I granted them mercy, huh?
It's what they say.
They must have had one hell of an offering to get mercy out of me. Unlike whoever cast this fireball, I'm gonna rip out their entrails.
Who do you think did this?
Well, on the bright side, I do not think it's that vampire that's over Mataro Bay. No, she is up close and bloodthirsty. She enjoys a fight. Plus, the Karagat and her. No, they wouldn't do something like this. Not saying they don't have mages. They do. But no. She would prefer to attack in person. And this doesn't seem like that Death Knight that's riding that we've heard about. Have you heard of him? They claim he's riding with a horde of skeleton knights.
Been pretty busy lately.
There's only one left that would try to challenge my power and claim to the throne. A pretender herself.
What's her name?
Madame Eris. She's over in Illarok.
Hmm.
You sure the town wasn't called Illarok?
I'm sure.
Hmm.
You don't
It's still
remember?
here on them. Do you remember everything you do in your lifetime?
Yes.
I've had a few.
I guess I am very young.
I don't remember everything I do in over a century. All I know is I'm back.
And
And
you're
this
a,
land will bow.
and you're a god?
He gives you an evil smile.
But just low absent-minded, I guess. I say it very innocently.
We'll talk more after we deal with whoever cast this fireball. He begins to walk north. I suggest you rein in your child's mouth.
I hope your day gets better.
It's not my kid.
Not my kid either.
Lucky you. His parents should be flogged.
I'm your son.
He stops for a second.
No, I'm not saying that, D-Walk. Sometimes something is clearly a joke, and D-Walk is just ready to rock and roll with it. I'm like, no.
Man, I need a gimmick. Like Rachel preemptively or rolls whatever and casts whatever and just reminds you of it at any time. And Deese, he can't control his inner monologue and it almost gets him in trouble with the DM. I gotta come up with my own shtick.
Yeah.
Well, no, your shtick is that you say weird words like fiddle diddle and and shenanigans.
When have I ever said?
You're like Joe Biden's bus. It's just got weird fucking words from 1930 on it.
All right, there, Dick Greaseburns.
Thank you for saying my full name.
Yes.
That's Dr. Dick Greaseburn, Esquire.
Well, if he's walked away, I'm going to turn to the two of you in a hushed tone and go, well, something cast a fireball and is now invisible.
Lucky him.
We don't think this is our little kobold friend, do we?
Could be.
Is this really his style, though?
Well, I didn't really take it to be as such, but I do know he was kind of tired of not being able to come into town without getting harassed. So I'd like to think he didn't, go this far, but
Also, was there a target other than just the side of the building?
This is the place where they were staying, the soldiers.
Yeah,
were
but I
staying.
mean, he could have cast it in the building, and that would have done more damage to just that building. This was sort of, it seemed like it wasn't really focused that well.
could have been in a hurry, maybe not as good wielding the spell as
Could this be a distraction for something happening on the other side of town?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Everyone did come right over here, including us.
Hmm.
We just quickly looked at all those footprints, so we could easily go back and check to see if anything had changed. Though if a person is already using a distraction tactic like this, and on top of that using an invisibility, they might have already thought about that, but worth a try.
Mhm.
I crack my knuckles. I'm like, I do have multiple lifetimes. It's so hard to remember all of the skills that I have, and I'm going to walk back towards where the gate is.
well.
Around, which way around the tavern are we going? We going north or are we going east?
Let's walk in the way that we came from, I guess.
That would be walking behind Darcarius.
I'm fine with it.
All right.
David, I have a question.
I have an answer.
He mentioned a female vampire in Martira Bay. Do I know who he's referring to?
Very much yes. The Baron,
Okay.
the self-proclaimed new leader of the Kurgat after Aslan's disappearance.
Okay.
She has taken control of majority of the Kurgat cells,
Okay.
and she fancies herself the next in line, or trying to be the next in line.
Man, you get rid of one ancient lord and all the fucking dickwads come out of the woodwork.
Well, is there something about, with hydras, if you cut one head off, you've just got the rest of them to deal with?
I think it's they grow back, right?
Well, either way, there's a power vacuum, and looks like everybody's pushing and shoving to be first online. So I can't recall. Did Kavir ever mention the Death Knight to us? I can't remember if he's mentioned that to the rest of the group.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I said I had mentioned that we had run into someone, but I don't think I wanted to divulge that entirely.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Rain, it's your turn.
Well, I'm sitting here thinking, and judging by what he said, he certainly sounds like the real deal, or he's good enough at playing it off such that he didn't trip up on a potential lie. So I'm going to at least work forward with the assumption that he is who he says he is. I guess if we're going to be walking back in the same direction behind him, I guess I'm just going to keep active perception to see if I notice anything out of place relative to what we had, kind of looked at the last time we were in the area.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception roll.
Okay. Oh, good God, that's a 29.
All right, I'll hold on to that.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, after that, it is Kavir. Nate has begun walking north.
He's walking the other way?
No, he's walking behind Darcalus and going north, back the way you guys came.
All right, I want to do the same thing. I want to just do some investigation checks. Oh, wait. Hold on. Before I leave, I'm going to run over to that lady. It had slipped my mind during the conversation. I'm going to run back to the lady with the one leg, and I'm going to take my tie and pull it off I'm going to tie it around her leg real tight. And then I'm going to reach into my bag and take a scroll case and then a stick or a piece of something off the ground. I'm going to turn it so it's like a tourniquet real tight. Then I'm going to wedge the stick in where the case was. And then I'm going to pin it down to her pant leg or whatever's on her leg so that she can stop the bleeding. I'm like, you're going to want to get this looked at. Okay.
Spare the dying. She is somewhat conscious out of shock and with you prepping the leg. So she just kind of nods at you, tears in her eyes, just still just dumbfounded. But she nods in response to you enough.
I'm going to hold my finger up against my lip and I'm going to go, shh. Our little secret, yeah? Also,
Couple silent nods out of her.
Remember this in the future, I might need a favor. And I'm going to dip off, run back behind where they are.
All right. Sounds good.
Boom, 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 boom. Techno nightclub. Boom, 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 boom. Open one right here. Doom, 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 doom. They don't have one out here in the middle of this fucking shitty wastegate swamp. If you had to choose, live out there with the crocodiles or live in here with the party folks. Doom, 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 doom. Best location.
Keth, it's your turn.
You can edit.
All right. The lady that I did spare the dying on, is she like really close to the fire or anything? Like, is she in danger of anything like that? If she is, I just want to like kind of scoot my arms like under her armpits and move her away from the fire.
Just all right.
Leave it
no, I mean, she's technically still within the crater-ish of it.
Okay.
So yeah, there are some of the remnants of burning around her.
All right, I'll move her, just like kind of get her. I'm sure that this is attracting a crowd of people, so I'll just move her to some other townsfolk so that way they can help her.
Alrighty, sounds good.
And then I'll jog after the others.
Like you just kick rolled her, like just pushed her with your foot, rolled her up against the wall.
You'll be good. Just stay there. Don't move.
Yep.
You'll be all right.
Tuck your arms in. It makes it harder to roll you.
Roll it on the ground. You'll be okay. Fire will go out. So all right, you guys
when your leg
there.
burns off, stop, drop, and roll.
I sort of.
Only
Maybe.
you can prevent florist fires.
Oh, God.
All right. From ahead of you guys, from around a corner, before you guys, it's ahead of Darcalus. You see 5 little missiles come flying out of the corner and smack Darcalus hard, one after the other.
What did? Sorry,
5 little magic missiles come flying around the corner and smack Darcalus.
Ruh-roh.
I'm gonna look at. I'm like kind of wondering if we should get in on this attack and also attack this guy.
We don't know that these magic missiles did anything to this guy yet.
That's true, but
yeah,
I mean, Strahd got
that's
shot by a magic missile right in the shoulder, and he just stared and looked at the motherfucker.
That's true.
At this point, Darcalus, he lifts himself up into the air above the buildings to get the aerial view of the place.
All right, never mind.
What? Just because he can fly? Fucking pigeons can fly.
I got a sword.
You afraid of a pigeon? Because, man, come on. When you guys see my boat, you guys are gonna fucking freak out.
Darcalus Rex here in Shopper 5.
Looks like we've got some. Hold on. Looks like we've got some issues down there on the. I don't know that we're going to be able to get a closer look. Let's just try to bring it down a little bit.
Got a fire on the west side of town right now. It's causing all kinds of tie-ups. If you're trying to move towards the east side, towards the tavern, be on the lookout for dead bodies and legless women.
And we're gonna skip. And Rain, your turn.
Okay, so 5 magic missiles come out of nowhere. Does he look hurt or does he just kind of look annoyed?
From the backside,
You can't really tell.
no, but you can. He seems pretty pissed off at the moment.
Okay, so
It hit the red on him. The red black veinish things begin to almost pulsate now.
ooh, good. Don't anything veiny and pulsating.
Ayo. Sorry. First AAO of the night. Thank you.
Somewhere Buford T. just goes, that's what we call an attention getter. All right. I mean, I don't necessarily want to come to this guy's aid per se, but I certainly don't want, like, the wrath of the nine hells to descend upon this town and start taking out innocent townspeople. How from where I currently am, how far is it to where the corner is where those magic missiles flew around?
About 40. Hold on. About 40 feet in front of you.
About 40 feet in front of me. Okay, so
Mhm. It's near the three bodies that were, or two of the three bodies that were dead.
Okay, so I could. So what I'd like to attempt to do is, and I don't think I'm going to have enough actions to do it, but I was thinking of basically dash, cunning action, dash. I want to try and flank around to the other side of where I think these came from.
You can, because the building in front of you that they came around, you can actually slip east and then north around the backside of it.
Okay, when I get there, can I stealth myself, like to peek around a corner to see if I can get a... Oh boy, he smiled. That was not a good sign.
Going?
Go ahead. Is that what I heard? All right.
Play it as is.
Okay. All right, it's not bad. That's a 22 for a stealth roll. So dash, cunning action, dash to get to the effectively the flanking position on where I think these missiles came from, and then I'm going to try and find something to hide behind to see if I can get a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Thank you so much for listening to Return to Ravenloft, a Freelance Heroism podcast. If you'd like to support us more, check us out on patreon.com/freelance_heroism and just donate any amount. We have prizes and journal entries and art that we post regularly a few times a week. And we'd really appreciate any support you could give us. Thank you.
Our cast includes Rachel Moore as Kesselgard Reskill, Dees Cassius as Master Kavir, Nathan Lett as Captain Rain Trichet, and David, aka D-Walk, as Dr. Midnight, and everyone else in the game. Thanks again for listening, and we will see you next week.
The invoice is in the mail.
And we've now reached intermission.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. And Nate can eat my sack. Sorry, is that gross? Sack of candy corn. Don't make it weird.
I see. I figured you were going to have an onion ring joke in there, but well.
No. Those are mine.
Oh, okay.
Those are mine.
Sorry.
I also do waffle fries.
That sounds more accurate, actually.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. About to send Nate Exhibit A.
As long as it's not Exhibit D, we're okay.
I was hoping that I could get there, but you got there first.
I got there first. I'm sorry, Rachel. All this is getting edited out because D-Walks walked away.
This episode's
so.
like 5 minutes long right now.
No, we got a pretty good chunk of stuff going on. We got buildings blowing up and
Yeah. Explosions left and right.
Right. I got to make a Linda McCartney joke behind the scenes, which was pretty,
That was pretty solid. Yeah.
I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, clip that out though. I don't think we actually acknowledged it, so that's good.